Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. This is Rose. How can I help you?
Hi, Rose. I was just calling because I have a water leak outside of my house.
Oh, no. Okay. What's the address?
It's 115 South Robinson Street.
Alrighty. Perfect. I'll go ahead and get our technicians out to you in just a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
It starts with a call like that. A trickle of water, a small leak on a quiet street. But behind every one of those calls is a team working around the clock to keep Tehachapi's water system alive. They're the ones checking the wells before sunrise, fixing pipes in the cold, and making sure that when you turn on your tap, clean water flows without a second thought. Today, we're highlighting the people who make that possible. The City of Tehachapi's Water Department, the foundation of our community's water system, and the people who keep it all flowing.
That daily, day-to-day process looks like on 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we are constantly checking the well sites.
That's Tyler Napier, Public Works Director for the City of Tehachapi. His department includes 5 full-time employees and 5 licensed water operators. Here's one of them, Water Division Supervisor JR Aguirre.
What we do every day is we monitor all the wells and we get the reads, the daily reads, and we make sure all the pumps are pumping accurately. First part of the morning we'll take care of the wells and stuff, and then we'll focus on water leaks and work requests, customer complaints, work orders. But it's like nonstop. Like you said, 365 days a year, we're constantly on call. We're making sure that the customers are provided good quality drinking water.
So when we talk about pumping water, what exactly are we pumping?
So the city, we solely provided water from groundwater. So we have 6 potable groundwater wells here, and we pull water directly from the ground, add a little bit of chlorination, and then distribute it right to the customer. There's quite a bit of maintenance and ongoing sampling and routine inspections that go on from our staff.
Every day, that work continues, monitoring, sampling, testing, and responding to calls just like the one we heard at the beginning.
On a weekly basis, we encounter 1 to 2 water line breaks. I would say 99% of our water leaks are from service lines, which means we have the large diameter water main, which is 6, 8, 10, 12, 14-inch water pipe. And then there's typically a 1-inch line that goes from the water main to the meter for the customer. It's typically leaking on that 1-inch service line. Those types of things are throughout the country. People are replacing those every single day, right? That's very, very common.
Much of the work goes unseen, but the impact is felt every day in homes, schools, and businesses across the city.
Something we definitely pride ourselves on is being customer first. If a customer has a water leak on their property, they call and they say, hey, we got a leak, we need some assistance shutting it off. Some people have their own valving that they can shut off very easily, and some people don't, or they just don't know where it is. They're a new resident. Our response time is 15 to 20 minutes max. That's kind of our city standard of response time.
The team's responsibilities extend beyond homes. They maintain vital infrastructure that protects us in emergencies.
One of our primary goals, primary functions of a water system is to provide fire protection, right? And so we have about 600 fire hydrants within the city limits. We have to make sure those are always working. They always have water. They're always operating. So we do hydrant maintenance, painting hydrants, flow checks, pressure checks. We work closely and collaborate with Kern County Fire. They do inspections on their own. They'll notify us, hey, this hydrant's not working properly, or there's a leak, or it's not opening right, things like that.
All of it comes from the same source, the groundwater beneath your feet.
Thing is right here locally. That water that's produced by those wells is native groundwater rights that the city of Tehachapi owns, right? That is just our water in the ground that we have right to pump. And we have plenty of water that we own native rights to supply to our customers. We haven't gone over our native groundwater rights either through the water we own or lease in quite some time.
But even as we depend on this local water, the way we use it has changed. As we heard in the last episode, our community has grown more efficient, and now technology is helping take that even further.
Over the last few years, we have upgraded our irrigation system. So the city has about 55 irrigation controllers spread out through town for landscaped areas. That new software is called IQ4. It's fully automated. Our staff can completely control the irrigation system through their phone. That's technology. That's how it is now. But the best part about that is if there's a high flow alarm. So let's say someone's walking along and they actually kick a sprinkler head. Now, when that sprinkler system that zone turns on, that sprinkler is just shooting up a geyser for 20 minutes. It'll actually set an alarm up. So there's a twofold thing, right? We're saving the water, but we're also protecting the landscaping.
The results speak for themselves.
When Kyle took over the irrigation system, we are averaging about 75 acre feet of water consumption for irrigation only. In about a year to year and a half, Kyle completed the project, and that dropped us down to about 55 acre feet. So about 20 acre feet of water consumption is gone, just completely eliminated. Now that equates to about 60 homes.
And that's just part of the picture. Over the past decade, our water use has dropped significantly, even as our community has continued to grow.
So in 2013, we pumped 2,333 acre feet of water out of the ground. That was what the city demanded at the time. Again, that includes schools, residential, commercial, industrial. At the time, we didn't have the new hospital. We didn't have Pilot. We didn't have Love's. We didn't have Walmart. Some pretty heavy users. We didn't have that. In perspective, the lowest point we actually got was 1,754 acre feet. That was in 2015. For perspective, in 2024, we pumped 1,879 acre feet. So we've dropped about 400 acre feet average over 10 years, 10, 12 years. So pretty significant drop. And that's a big kudos to the customer, to the residents.
That conservation has paid off, not just in numbers, but in the health of the basin itself.
And in 2015, our average pumping level with all 6 wells running, the average depth to the water level was 245 feet. And in 2025, we're at 239 feet. So we're up by 6 feet, again, on our pumping levels. So those are metrics that are, as someone who's responsible to maintain the water system, that's amazing. Because I've worked for other water systems where you're on thin ice all the time, hoping that you don't reach this certain level, start to pull air or cavitate the pump, things like that. I think it truly attributes to we're not over pumping the basin. We own a certain number of water rights. We protect that. We don't over extract that.
The city's commitment to conservation doesn't stop with groundwater. At the wastewater treatment plant, the one you can see off the freeway, innovation continues.
A project we did back in, I think it was 2017 or 2018, we did what we call a recycle water project, and at the wastewater treatment plant. So part of the wastewater treatment process requires water to clean, to rinse, to flush. There's a lot of water consumption that's required there. Through that project, we built a pump station and a filtration system and used our treated wastewater, so that the water at the end of the plant, treated effluent we call it, and we would pump that right back into the plant for processed water we call for rinse down, cleaning. That saved us about 75 to 85 acre feet of water per year.
And the recycling doesn't end there. Every day, the wastewater treatment plant processes around 2 acre feet of raw wastewater. That's 2 acre feet in and 2 acre feet out. So where does the processed water go?
Our current permit process, the way we're established and set up, is we are required to discharge that water for a farming operation. So out by the rodeo grounds near the airport, we have about 82 acres of land out there that we sublease that land to a farmer, and he grows alfalfa. The alfalfa will take up the nitrogen and some of the water quality issues that wastewater typically has. So we made state requirements there for water quality to not impact the groundwater in a negative way. And a lot of that alfalfa stays here locally, which is kind of neat.
That treatment water eventually filters back into the basin, becoming usable again, a natural cycle of reuse and renewal. Despite all of these efforts, there's only so much groundwater we can safely pump. To keep the basin healthy, we have to stay within our limits. That's why future investment, expanded healthcare opportunities, new businesses, schools, and homes depends on securing additional SWP, or imported water from the Tehachapi-Cummings County Water District. We're not asking for much, just a few hundred acre feet over several years, enough to support the responsible, sustainable growth our community is projected to see. But what if there was once a project that could have delayed or even eliminated our need for imported water altogether? A project that, if completed, might have changed everything. We uncover the story of that project, what it was, why it mattered, and what happened when it never came to be, in the next episode of Follow the Water.